Hello, my name is Julia, and today I wanted to make a video talking specifically about unprocessed trauma, unprocessed emotions, how they can manifest in the body, and what happens when we allow ourselves to dive in and release them. So, first, I want to take note because the last video that I made was actually a couple days ago, and I recognized that I had this fairly heavy energy and that I just had a lot of things that I felt were weighing on me. I felt really isolated and lonely and unexpressed in my life. And so last night I wrote out this insanely vulnerable post. It was actually an email that I may end up posting a little bit later. But this really vulnerable email, just laying all of my cards on the table. And I sent it out to my list. And I realized that after I did that, after I expressed myself vulnerably, was very authentically raw and vulnerably just honest, that I felt so much lighter, that I felt so much more joyful and energized because I no longer felt like I have to hide myself from the world. And that was one of the main messages from this email, was that I have been carrying so much pain in my life because of this belief that if I really let people see who I am, then they won't love me, that I won't be accepted, I won't achieve or experience the things that I really want to in life, that I won't be successful in the way that I want to, I won't be seen or regarded as intelligent or an expert in my field. And so I was having a bit of an epiphany moment just around how much more joyful I feel today as a result of just letting that go. Of really staring my darkness in the face and being I'm not gonna let you boss me around anymore. I'm not gonna let you run my life. I'm not gonna let you push me around anymore. I am choosing to rise above that. And I was talking with someone this morning. This is something that stimulated this desire to create this video today, that I was talking with someone this morning, and they were describing that they received this diagnosis that was kind of alarming or perhaps overwhelming or confusing for them. It was just bringing up a number of different emotions, that they had this diagnosis that they had received. And after hearing that message and praying to God in my meditation this morning, I had another very clear insight. And I will say that yesterday, just before I wrote that very raw email that I did, that the insight to do so came again from having this connection in my meditation and my prayer, and just asking God, what can I do to feel more joyful in my life right now? Because I am feeling so heavy and so depressed and so uninspired in my life, and I really just want to move this energy away. And so the message that I got yesterday was to just be honest, be radically honest, and see what happens. And so today I am feeling much more joyful and inspired. And once more, I prayed to God this morning, and I was asking, what can I do to serve you? What can I do to continue with this experience of joy? And again, the message that I got was just to express myself. And specifically to make a video was what came to mind. So that's why I'm sitting here with you today. So coming back to this idea of trauma, what this person had been telling me really resonated for me, because one of the things that I had mentioned in this email that I wrote, and I will just disclose that this could be a slight trigger warning for some people, so if you're sensitive or maybe not feeling in an emotionally stable place and like you can take things on right now, maybe just turn off the video and come back to it another time, or not at all. So 2 years ago, maybe a little over that now, but around 2 years ago, I had an abortion, and this is not something that is the first time of me expressing, so I'm a little bit over that at this point. However, I recognize that after the time of having the abortion, say for like the 2 years up until when I finally sought the assistance that I needed to fully process that experience for me, I acknowledge and recognize that I caused a lot of havoc in my life because of that unprocessed guilt and pain and the judgments that I had and the way that that manifested in my life. So, for example, like I had this experience that I felt like I couldn't tell anyone about, I felt so guilty about, I felt a lot of shame around, even though at the time, and I still stand by this, I knew that it was the right decision for me, that I just was having all of these heavy emotions that I didn't feel like I could really express and didn't feel like anyone really understood. And so I just pushed down all of that whatever icky stuff. I didn't want to look at it. But as a result of that, I kept getting triggered. And eventually the triggers got worse and worse and worse, and they would just sometimes come out in these like volcanic eruptions of rage. And it took me a while to really even acknowledge or understand, like, why is this happening? Why am I feeling so angry about this, like, small, insignificant thing that had nothing to do with, in my mind, anything? Yet later, after doing this, like, post-abortion program, recognized that, oh, it's actually related to the abortion in this way, and that's why it's so triggering for me, because it's stimulating, again, that guilt and shame that I just kind of, like, pushed down. And so I went through and I did this program and I processed a lot of the triggers that I had and really confronted, in many ways, the person that I had become at that time, and recognized that a lot of the like drug use that I'd experienced, say like smoking weed or eating excess like junk food, or just like participating in behaviors that were and can be considered abusive to my body, that all of that self-abuse, that abuse that I was then projecting onto other people because I was triggered, they were triggering me, and they needed to suffer as a result of it, was all because of this unprocessed pain, this unprocessed experience that I had that created all these negative beliefs for me. And this wasn't the first time that I had experienced the release of and healing of some kind of emotional trauma, some kind of experience. Like, I had the awareness already that emotions can get trapped in the body, but I didn't know how disruptive they can actually be. And I didn't really fully comprehend how much I was hurting other people as a result of my own unprocessed pain and trauma. And so having this conversation with this individual today and recognizing that they are in a place of suffering. They are feeling confused, they're feeling hurt, they're not understanding really what is going on in life. And it really brought to my awareness just how little modern society understands about emotions. How little we understand trauma, how little we comprehend and can fully know what not processing our emotions does to us, and the ways that we then project that pain onto other people. And for me, this is kind of exciting, because every time that I experience some kind of release of just giving myself permission to love myself and giving myself permission to forgive myself, express myself, to show up fully and authentically again and just say like, hey world, this is me. Yeah, this is something that I've done, but that's not who I am. Yes, that is a story, but I know that that story, that experience was here to serve me so that I can then help other people, that I can then serve other people and show them that the pain, the suffering, the whatever it is that they are experiencing in their life right now doesn't need to be the case. I do not understand in this society why anyone would ever need to be on antidepressants, let alone any other medications. Because for me, it is so evident and so clear that what we really, really need is just to process our past traumas and pains and experiences that have held us back in life. And so I just wanted to be blatantly honest and clear about my experiences so that it might inspire someone else to take that step into their past, take a deep look into the pain that they may still be holding on to. Because honestly, like after expressing in that email yesterday, I feel so much better. Like this was the first morning that I got out of bed when my alarm went off, and I went outside and like exercised. And for me, this is just like normally how I am. But yeah, I just feel like phenomenal today. And I know that was because I gave myself permission to just express, to admit that like I'm feeling like heavy, I'm feeling all of these things. And I know part of that too is because I'm confronting my addictions right now too. I'm not smoking weed, I'm not like drinking coffee, I'm not eating excess amounts of sugar. Like I'm really just walking a clear, aligned path. And this is what came up for me today. This is what I felt called to share. So I hope it serves you in some way. And I hope that you see value in this story. And just, I hope you know that you're not alone, that you are whole and complete and worthy of love and so much more that you desire in life. So thank you, namaste, and God bless.